They need, they need to understand the world in a completely different way. They need to, in a sense, acquire the maturity of a 60-year-old and yet function with the energy of a 20-year-old. They need to be able to bridge issues related to character and skill and knowledge rather than just focusing on the knowledge. As we discussed this morning, they need to be a lot more capable of grit and intensity and motivation and curiosity and constant learning. And that's the challenge we're facing, and remain motivated in what they're doing. So that motivation can come from both the way we teach, the how, but also what we teach, the what. And I'm focused on the what, because a lot of people worldwide are focused on the how, and the what has been the glaring miss in the conversations, which I'm hoping to bring to the fore. We all seem to agree as societies that we need to teach for character, skills, and knowledge. Where we have to be cleaner and crisper is as we drill down. Should we be teaching, for instance, more statistics and less trigonometry? Should we be teaching long division? That's at the bottommost layers. But at the topmost layers, what are we teaching, what should we be teaching that we're not teaching? For instance, personal finance, or marketing and sales, or anthropology and sociology. Should we be teaching these things as mandatory subjects nowadays so that kids understand the world a lot better? Conversely, what are we teaching that shouldn't be taught anymore because it's obsolete? Particularly in an age of Google and Watson, what should we be teaching if we have enormous search capabilities, access to troves of information, and access to processing power a la Watson? So what do we teach for? And what should we be removing from the present curriculum? To give you again a mathematics example, we used to learn logarithmic tables. We don't do that anymore. We used to learn how to extract a square root by hand. We don't do that anymore. So should we be teaching long division? It's less preposterous than you might think, because, for instance, the founders of Mathematica, of Wolfram Research, the two Wolfram brothers, both of them have never mastered long division by hand, and yet they founded Mathematica, which is an incredibly powerful piece of software. So it is not a crazy question, but we have to ask these questions. And the way to ask them is not to leave these complicated conversations strictly to the math experts or the geography experts or the topic experts. Is to bring in people from the real world saying, I'm an architect, this is how I've used it, and have them constantly represented as we redesign what the curriculum should be. Well, for one, you bring together not just the subject experts, subject matter experts, the disciplinary experts. You also bring along with them other academics from various disciplines, from anthropology to zoology. And then you bring real-world practitioners, from architects to logisticians to transportation experts. You bring all of these people together to rethink the priorities of the various branches of any given discipline. But that's just for the design phase. After that, you also have the acceptance and usability phase. And to do so, you have to have a certain level of political legitimacy, meaning no single jurisdiction, whether it's Ontario or Alberta or Singapore, has sometimes the political willpower to say, we're going to do away with, in the example I just gave, trigonometry. But it could be done. But that political leeway typically doesn't exist within the hands of a single jurisdiction. However, if you bring together a lot of brands that represent a lot of cogency, whether it's the OECD or Harvard or corporations or jurisdictions all working together on rethinking what should be done, then you stand a much better chance of seeing acceptance at the local level. And then, of course, you have a phase of change management, like for any new topic.